Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. This is Philip Charlson from ATG USA. Today we're going to go through the MEP Productivity Pack versus out-of-the-box Revit view templates. So first off, a little bit about myself. So I am still kind of a newbie here at ATG. I started back in December. I am a senior technical specialist just because I've actually been in the Autodesk reseller side 19 of the past 20 years. So I started back in 2001, an Autodesk reseller. I've been working with Revit since early 2002. So basically right after Autodesk made the purchase of Revit. So I started on the architecture side and got into the MEP a few years later when Autodesk released the MEP side of things. Before coming to ATG, I spent a year at a larger national AEC firm as a BIM manager for the entire company. I've been teaching, mentoring, managing a lot of users, companies with Revit in all these years. Again, I've been supporting MEP and the architecture companies since 2001. I also have the most Autodesk certifications by a user in the state of Minnesota. I think I'm up to about 22 right now. Also, I love Legos. So if you ever want to have a conversation about Lego collections, I'm your guy to talk to. So today, what we're going to be going through, a little description here. So we're going to go through view templates. So obviously you have your general templates, whether it be MEP templates, architecture templates, structure templates, but within those you have view templates. And over training over the years, I've really pushed view templates to users to make sure that they're using those. When I go into companies that have already started using Revit, I haven't interacted with them and I don't see them using view templates. It kind of makes me cringe because I just feel like you're losing a lot of productivity by not utilizing view templates. So today my focus obviously is encouraging you to utilize view templates and also kind of show you a little bit of a difference between what you typically get from out of the box Revit and what you get within the MEP Productivity Pack that we sell. And we'll see the differences between those and see how it can make you more productive utilizing those. So our goal, again, have a good understanding of how Revit view templates are used within the project and how you can benefit from a set project template with the features of view templates. So a few of the learning objectives I want to accomplish here in this webinar. Obviously, I want to show some of the basics of view templates. So maybe some of you have been using view templates but want to see a little bit more with that. Others may not even know what a view template is. So I kind of want to give you some of that base understanding of those view templates. And then obviously I want to describe the difference between what you get from the out-of-the-box Revit, so what you simply purchase, you download Revit, get it installed, and then some of the templates that you get there, and then what you actually get from the MEP Productivity Pack. And then also explain the usage of view templates within the projects. Now kind of furthering along that a little bit more here, as far as the usage, obviously with the view templates, it maintains consistency across multiple views and projects. So when you're able to do that, it's going to save you a lot of time on projects when you do utilize those view templates. When you do get that consistency from view to view, you know that your project's going to look correct when you get it on sheets. And from project to project, you know that consistency is just going to stay there as you look at each of those particular views within a project, and you know that you're not going to have those types of errors in relation to how it's viewed. And I can't say as far as the design goes, that's all on you, but at least we can make it look good with those view templates. And then kind of going back to again some of the differences between the out of the box. The out of the box has some standard view templates, not very many, and typically a lot of times they need to still be modified because they're not quite complete. Also, you need to typically add more to what is in the list and be able to go in and just simply modify a lot more within there. And a lot of it is more trial by error when you get into that first few projects and kind of getting those things set within there. And the MEP Productivity Pack has many view templates created for mechanical, electrical, fire protection, and plumbing. And it's specific to the needs of that engineer or designer in mind when it was developed. Also, the out of the box has no views with view templates assigned. So that means you have to go in and assign those view templates to all of the views that you go in and create within the out of the box template. The Productivity Pack has assigned view templates to many of the views created in the template for the end user from the start. So it's been thought of how it should look within those particular views, again, with that engineer designer in mind as to how it should look when it is completed. So I'm going to pop into Revit here. I've got a few projects that I want to show you. Obviously, I got the Productivity Pack. I've got just a sample project right out of the box, and I'm going to open up also a template out of the box as well so that we can take a look at that. All right, so first off here, this is the MEP Advanced Sample Project. I switched it over to Imperial instead of having the typical metric version within here. And right now I'm in an HVAC floor plan view, duct plan, and I haven't changed anything other than the measurements, unit of measurements here. And with this level 1 HVAC duct plan, you'll notice in the properties here that for view template, there is none set within this particular view. So what does that mean for the end user? Well, the end user can go to the visibility graphics, be able to turn stuff on and off within here. They can go up and obviously filter the list, particular discipline that they're looking for, and they can turn again those things on and off. They can control how it looks with the visibility settings within here. They can set different patterns and transparency, and they can make it look the way that they want. Now that's great for this view, but what happens to other views that you have within there? If I want to go and do that same thing with my level 2 HVAC duct plan, and if I wasn't using view templates, I'd have to go to visibility graphics again, and I'd have to remember, okay, which ones did I turn on, turn off? What did I change for some of my overrides? I want to make sure that I have them exactly the same. So unfortunately, I see this a lot in some companies, and I'm like, how is it that you keep your drawings consistent and also your projects consistent? Because you're not only remembering what you set within this project for those views, but you have to continually do that same process for every single project that you do in the future. And it's very easy to make some mistakes, have things showing up that are not supposed to be showing. The person that's going in and checking the designs, doing the red lines, they're circling a lot of stuff. So, they're wasting time by things that can be corrected by utilizing view templates. Now, I've got the level 2 HVAC duct plan open right now. And if I go to the properties, to the view template down here, and just simply click on none, these are just some of the view templates that they have in this out of the box sample project. So for an HVAC plan, I might come down here and I select the HVAC plan design. So within the assigned view template, it's going to filter out based on what type of view that you're looking at. So it's looking at the floor structural area plans. If I click on the drop down here, you can see that they have 3D views, walkthroughs, ceiling plans, elevations, sections, and detail views as well. But for this one, again, I'm selecting the HVAC plan design. Over here in the listings for all the different parameters, we can go in and set what we want specifically for that particular view template. So for this one, they have custom set for a view scale. Right now, this one's set at 1 to 100. Display model, normal. But the thing that you really want to look at is the visibility graphic type settings that you have within here. That's where a lot of people play with the controls and show what you're able to see within there. So if I click on the edit for model, again, as a end user, if I'm going in and setting up a HVAC design, and this isn't a coordination type view, why am I seeing cable trays checked within here? I would probably have those types of items unchecked. If I'm going in and developing a view template specific for discipline, what I tend to do is I'll go in and uncheck a number of these items. So I'll just start out with the electrical here. And you can see all the different electrical items that are still highlighted within here. So I don't want to have any conduit type information in here. Some of these items are duplicated within other disciplines. So I think the rest is fine within here. I'll go to the piping here. Now piping could include some process type piping, but this is HVAC duct plan. So I don't want to see any flex pipes within here. Also in this case, I'm not doing any fabrication in here as well. So I'm going to uncheck those items, uncheck the pipes here, and we don't need to see any plumbing fixtures for HVAC duct plans and sprinklers. So now going back to the mechanical side, we can see everything that we would typically want to have in here: duct, air terminals. We do have zones and we have spaces within here as well. So this is typically what we'd want to see in a HVAC plan type instance. Now this is the model category. So this is all the 3D type items, physical objects that we can go in and select. We do have annotation categories as well. Analytical models going to be a lot of the structural items. Imported categories, if you've got any AutoCAD type drawings within there, if you want to be able to go in and see those as well, we can go in and check on and check off some of the items within there. So I've got some imports from families within there. We also have filters, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about that when we get into the productivity pack, but we can go in and create filters for how we want to see items, maybe more on an individual basis. For HVAC duct plans, I could go in and create a filter for supply lines, exhaust lines, return lines. So if I wanted to really get it down to something specific, I could only have it only show supply lines if that is what I wanted to choose as a filter. Because right now for model categories, we're showing all the ducts within here. But filters will allow you to filter out specific items within that particular category. All right. So that basically covers all the visibility graphic items within there. We can also change some of the other display type items. We have the view range as well. So that's typically an important one that you may want to make a little bit more flexible. What that means is over here, you have a checkbox. So what that means is if those items are checked, that means it's going to use whatever values that you've got set within there. If you uncheck something, that means that it can be flexible. That means you can go in and change it per view. So sometimes you may want to go in and uncheck some of these things if you want that particular parameter to be a little bit more flexible per view. Obviously, don't uncheck everything, otherwise, again, view templates become somewhat useless. So be very selective with that, but again, with the view range, that might be something that you want to have unchecked there. All right, so if I go ahead and click OK here, now whatever I've done to that particular view has basically taken effect to that. So anything, obviously with the electrical side, with the plumbing side, those have now disappeared. Now I'm specifically showing just the ductwork type items. We got our diffusers, we got ductwork, we got mechanical equipment. So we're being a little bit more specific with the items within here. And you can see within the view template parameter in the properties, it is displaying as HVAC plan design. If I go in and pick on the other one down here, level 1 HVAC duct plan, and switch that one to the same, you can see here that at the very top it says number of views with this template assigned 1. So that is the one that I just assigned. So I go ahead and click OK, and you'll see that that one will now have updated with the settings that I just changed within there as well. So I basically got the 2 HVAC duct plans with the same view template. So now if I go back and click on it, oh, I actually have 5 of them selected here. So that must be the other 3 within the list here. Now also with the view templates, can go in and modify them without having to click on a particular view and clicking on the view template. If you just want to simply go in and start modifying a number of view templates, you can go to your view tab, and in the graphics panel here, we can click on the view template dropdown. So we can go in and simply go in and manage the view templates. So when I go to the manage view templates, it's just simply going to give us the list of all the view templates that we have within a particular project. If I click on the drop down here, we can go to each of the different filters that we have for the different types of view templates, and we can go in and select them and then modify them the way that we want to here. So as you can see, when I go in and click on each one of these here, we have none of the ceiling plans utilizing any of the view templates because all of them were showing as 0 here. What I typically suggest to end users is to at least have every view that you're going to put onto a sheet have a view template assigned to it. That way you know that the settings that you've applied to it will take effect to that particular view. If you don't have those view templates assigned, you know, you're really going to have to go in and check each of your views, obviously check the visibility graphics, and again, that's just taking a lot of time to go in and modify those types of items. All right, so let me close out of this project here, and I'm just going to open an out-of-the-box template here. So I'll start a brand new project. And template file, so obviously Autodesk Revit has a number of out-of-the-box templates here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the system's default, so that will give us all the MEP disciplines here. So again, nothing has been changed from this. This is the same template that you can open up on your own here. So as I mentioned within my PowerPoint, when I click on any of these views, none of the views have a view template assigned to them. You'll notice that each one is set to none here. If I do go in and click on it, you'll see that the list is even shorter than the sample file. So we just have some regular ones here. We got the architectural plan, electrical, mechanical plan, plumbing plan. I go and click all, you know, maybe we have about 15 different view templates. So not very many view templates within here. Even when you look at the electrical side, the electrical view templates are basically set up for just the power type views. There is no lighting type electrical plan view templates assigned within the out of the box. So when I click on electrical plan here, and we look down here at subdiscipline, you can see that it's set for power. Just a quick look at the visibility graphics. And we'll look at the electrical. Again, you'll see we even have our lighting devices, and we have power equipment within the list here. Electrical fixtures, electrical equipment, we got conduit and cable trays. So in some of those instances, when you have a lighting plan, you know, you don't want to see cable trays or conduit. You may want to have that in more specific type view templates. So again, although there are view templates created, you would really have to go in and modify them and possibly duplicate them. To duplicate a view template, you can select on one, you can come down here to the bottom and click on the duplicate, give it a new name. So if I just simply call this one lighting plan, and then click OK, we can go in and obviously create a new one, and then we can go in and modify some of the settings. So you can't just create one from scratch. View template is basically almost like a system family. It resides within the project, and to create new ones, you have to duplicate it and then go in and modify it afterwards. So again, bit of time to go in and create those from straight out of the box to get it the way that you want to. So next, I want to go in and pop into the productivity pack. So maybe some of you have the productivity pack. Maybe others are wondering, okay, what is the MEP Productivity Pack? So just a brief description here. The MEP Productivity Pack is basically a set of tools for the MEP user. It has a lot of content set up within it. It has been years in creation. I'm actually going to be showing you the new 2019 version that just came out. So there have been some new additions within here, some new features. But again, I'm not necessarily showing you the productivity pack, but just showing you the view template aspect of that. But if you are looking to get into the new 2019 MEP Productivity Pack, make sure to reach out to your salesperson from ATG, and they can help you out. So as far as the view templates go for the MEP Productivity Pack, I'm going to pop into the view templates as I did with the other project here, and I'm going to click on the Manage View Templates. All right, so when I pop into this, you'll see that we have a little bit more of an extensive list of view templates within here. Now these are ordered very nicely. I say that because if you look at the names of them, they start out basically with the letter of the discipline. If you noticed in the first project that I had open, things were kind of scattered. There wasn't really any type of name organization to them. But as you can see here with this one, obviously we have all the electrical within here. You can see how everything is kind of ordered here. We got our ceiling plans, we got some site plans, we got our lighting plans, we got power plans within here. Go down a little bit further, we have some fire protection, we've got some general, we got mechanical, we got the mechanical piping, and then we have the plumbing down below here. So very easy to go in and locate the types that you want. And also you have the filters up at the top here. So if you are exclusively electrical or exclusively HVAC, you can go in and highlight one of the discipline filters so that you're only selecting the type of view template specific to your discipline. So it will shorten up that list for you. But if you are a BIM manager, obviously you want to be able to see a lot of that information if you're working with multiple disciplines. So you most likely would want to set the discipline filter to just simply show all. Again, we can switch it to the different filters for ceiling plans, elevation sections, floors. We even have them for schedules. So that's a nice feature as well. So we have these for keynotes, schedules, sheet indexes, and specifically for each discipline as well. And where this comes in handy is, just being able to show, the titles, the headers, the main text, making sure that, all that information stays consistent from schedule to schedule to schedule. For a mechanical project, you might have 50 different schedules in a project, and you want to make sure that all of them look the same from schedule to schedule. So applying a view template to those schedules obviously are very nice to be able to have. Let me cancel out of here, and we'll go to one of the views here. So within the project browser, again, kind of with the MEP Productivity Pack, it's nicely organized. You got your analysis, construction documents, coordination, project setup, and working. So if you, again, you haven't worked with the productivity pack, the working views are typically where you do a lot of your design work. Again, your construction documentation, that is typically the views that are going to be going on to sheets. Obviously, your coordination is going to be coordination with other disciplines, architecture, structure as well. And then you have your project setup where you're initially setting up the project, linking in some files there. So going down to working here, and we'll just simply go down to the HVAC here as an example. We'll click on the working HVAC plan 01. And if I zoom in here, this is just the sample project also that, that comes with the productivity pack. So if you do have this, you would have access to this same model. Allows you to kind of play around with and see how things work with this productivity pack. But in the properties, you'll see that we have the MHVAC plan working as a view template. So when I do click on that one, again, for this, we have 6 views that have this particular MHVAC plan working as a view. I'm going to assume it's probably these 6 views that we have here within the HVAC and the project browser here, the 6 working views. If I click on the edit here for the visibility graphics, you'll see that this is very well defined specifically for HVAC. So you're not going to see any electrical type items, plumbing items, you know, things that you would not want to see in an HVAC type plan. Annotation categories, again, analytical, imported, filters. So this is a big thing that sometimes causes confusion within the productivity pack. Now, when I was in the initial project that I showed you earlier, and I went to filters, there were no filters within there. And I mentioned that we could create a filter for supply ductwork or return ductwork or exhaust ductwork. The way that this has been created is to be able to show or turn on, turn off certain items within a particular view as far as the filters go. So there's been some visibility type instances set to be able to show those or to not show those. Also, overrides have been set. As you can see here, if there's something that is not on the MHVAC work set, it's still going to be visible, but it's going to be more of a dotted, kind of a faint grayish line, and also add a 50% transparency. Because as you're working within the HVAC plan, we want the HVAC content to really stand out, and anything that's not HVAC related should be kind of more of a background type instance there. So again, that is the way that that's been set as a particular filter for this view. And filters are something that can be created. You can create a number of them per project, and basically you can go in and add them to a particular view template within the visibility graphic overrides. So you can see a number of filters have been applied within there. You know, just simply taking a look at the initial one here, the M work set, not HVAC. If I go ahead and click on edit new, we can actually see actually all of the filters that are within this project, this template here. So we're not seeing all of these within this particular view here, but these are all the filters that are within the productivity pack. And specific to this one, you'll see that categories are selected. So specific items within here, air terminals, cable trays, conduit. So we see some electrical items within here. We see the plumbing fixtures within here as well. So those are things that we're saying are going to be affected by this particular filter. So again, with those items being selected, those items are going to have those designations or those overrides within this particular view. Now also, we can go in and set up some work set visibility. So if you just simply do not want to be able to see certain work sets, first off, Make sure that things that you've placed are on the correct work set. If you're putting everything all on work set 1, if you're not utilizing the productivity pack and everything's on work set 1, and you turn off work set 1, well, you're not going to see a whole lot of information within your project. So might be something you need to check to make sure that you have that set as visible. So be careful turning these on and off. The other item here is the Revit links. So this is something that you typically may want to change. A lot of people get confused with the Revit links as far as the visibility graphic override. By default, when you're working with projects and you've linked in a project into yours, you know, if you work on MEP, you've linked in architectural, you've linked in structural, pop into the Revit links in your visibility graphic overrides, it is typically set to by host view. That means whatever you've got set in your model categories, your annotation categories to be checked on, checked off, and how it's represented, that is how it's also going to represent in the link files. Now, oftentimes you want to be able to turn things off that is in those linked files. So oftentimes annotation categories, grid lines, level lines from the linked files, we don't necessarily want to see within some of our individual views. Now in a project setup view, yes, we typically want to see those because we want to make sure that those grid lines, those level lines match up. But for a view that you want to represent as a construction document, we don't want to see multiple grid lines, multiple level lines. So we can go into the annotation categories. Again, we can select this and set this to custom, show annotations, and we can be able to go in and turn those items off within the particular view. So grids, levels, again, depending upon what view, obviously I wouldn't need to turn off levels in a floor plan view, but grid lines I probably would want to uncheck. In this case, for the sample project, they actually have it set to not show any annotation categories within this view from the linked model. So again, this is something that you may want to go in and change. Again, by default, the productivity pack has some placeholders for architectural, structural, and also for mechanical and electrical if you are just a mechanical or electrical firm and you're linking in the other discipline. Those settings have been set as custom already, so you don't have to go in and change those, but you would have to if you do the out-of-the-box type instances. And finally, design options. Within the productivity pack, there are some default design options within there, but it doesn't have anything really related to the design aspect. It's more of placing some of the content that is within the productivity pack. So go ahead and hit OK here. A few of the other things listed within the view templates, specifically in the productivity pack. Some of the items down below here, there are some parameters that have been added. A view creator abbreviation, also some view classification as to where this particular view is going to be located. And that's actually related to the project browser organization. So if I OK out of this here, you'll notice in the project browser, I've got views, view classification, all disciplines. So if I go in and right click on that and go in my browser organization, again, this is a little bit different than the out of the box because a parameter has been added to this to show the breakdown of the project browser. If I click on edit here and go to grouping and sorting, you can see that it is grouped by the view classification here, and that is coming from the view templates. So you specify that in there, and the view gets placed in its correct location. And again, those view classifications are going to be the analysis, construction documents, coordination, project setup, and working within here. And then it's set by the family, subdiscipline, and then sorted out by the view name. All right. Now, if you are going in and wanting to create your own view templates, again, I showed you earlier, you can go to your view template within here. You can select on an already existing view template, and you can duplicate, give it its own name, and then you can go in and change the properties of that new template that you're going to create. So I've had to do that for some companies. Even with the productivity pack, they want to expand it a little bit further, and just simply going in and tweaking it the way that end user wants to. All these view templates that are in the productivity pack, all of them can be modified, so nothing is set in stone. But with the productivity pack, it is a better head start, I guess, if you are wanting to further your view templates from just using the out of the box instances. Also, if you've already got somewhat of a set project template, and maybe you want to start utilizing some of these view templates, maybe you've purchased the productivity pack and you haven't really delved into it yet, you can utilize the transfer project standards and grab the view templates from that. If I go to the Manage tab and go to Transfer Project Standards, right now I'm just, I've got the linked file in here, the architectural link here. But if I go in and check None, I would want to be in my either project, existing project, or if I was going into, you know, a company template, I would be in that project first, and I would have the productivity pack open. So I would copy it from the MEP startup template. I can go down to the view templates and hit OK, and I can bring those view templates into an already existing company template or an already existing project. And then I can go in and start applying those view templates to views that you have within your project. So if you're thinking of, you know, starting to utilize the productivity pack, this might be a good way to start doing that without having to jump, you know, head first into it. Obviously, you can bring in multiple type instances within the productivity pack here as well, as far as settings go. But obviously, you know, I really push for the viewport types as an important feature to save a lot of time within Revit. All right. So let me see here if we have any questions here. All right. So someone asked here, how does ATG protect their content if someone shares model and transfer project standards is applied to another company's files without purchase? Well, we do not have a way to protect our content. Simply, you have to trust, and that's the way it's always been with Revit. There's been nothing for locking down information. If you are pushing information, sending information out to another company, I would recommend using your purge tool. You know, going to your manage, click on your purge unused to clear a lot of the content that you have not used for your project. Obviously, the companies that you deal with are not getting all the content that you initially get when you do purchase the productivity pack. If I pop open just kind of show you here what you get with the productivity pack. So you get a number of folders with that productivity pack. You get a content folder, a number of different folders within there that have all specific content that has been created for the productivity pack. So there's nothing that is out of the box here. All the parameters have been added to it. Obviously, you've got a large shared parameter file as well. Shared parameters, you have well over 3,000 parameters to a master shared parameter list. So that is something that another company obviously can't take from you because you have that TXT file that has all those shared parameters to it. All the content has the shared parameter information tied to it, along with all the schedules that are in the productivity pack as well. Along with that, those other companies, they won't have the user manual that you have. So this is a very important thing to look at when you get the productivity pack. If you have the productivity pack now and have not known about the user manual, make sure you look up the information on your user manual. This is about a 250-page guide that will guide you through the process of really learning the productivity pack. There's a lot of links to how-to videos for the productivity pack as well, but there is a lot of information there that you really want to look at when it comes to the pack. So a little bit of a conclusion. So I showed you a little bit of the basics of view templates for the people that haven't experienced view templates before. Obviously, they are very easy to create and modify, be able to use those, just simply applying them to views. Again, I showed you the option there for transferring to other projects. Again, the differences between what you get from out of the box and what you get from the productivity pack. Obviously, you get a lot of setup that's been thought of within the productivity pack. The out of the box view templates, those have stayed the same for as long as I can remember. Remember, I've been using Revit since 2002, and they really haven't changed much over the years. So what you see is what you get, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon with the out of the box content. And then again, I did explain the usage of the view templates within the projects. Again, it helps maintain consistency across multiple views, and then from project to project. And then again, saving a lot of time on projects to utilize view templates. All right, another question popped in here. So is there a good way to work with view templates when creating a lighting plan to show furniture? So when you're working with a lighting plan, so typically you're working up in the ceiling type area and you have a view range, and that view range is typically a bit higher than where your furniture is located. So typically what you would want to do for furniture is you're going to have to change the view range to drop down to be able to see that furniture. Now the view templates are going to be very important when it comes to that instance, because you're going to want to turn off those other things that you typically do not want to see in those ceiling plans. You know, if you don't want to see the doors or windows, you're going to want to, you know, uncheck those items to not be able to see those within there. And then with the furniture, you know, obviously changing it to display a little bit differently, you know, showing a grayscale or maybe different color representation, dash lines, to show it a little bit lighter than, again, what you would typically have for your lights. Another question came in here. Can you explain any benefit to using Apply View template to a plan that it only controls Revit links rather than controlling the Revit links through the main view template applied to that particular view? Okay, so when you use the Apply View template, let me pop back into Revit here. So what that means is when you go in and right click on a particular view, you can go in and choose to apply the template properties. So what that means, if I go in and let me turn this off here. So I'll set that to none. And we click on Apply Template Properties. So I can go back and I can go in and set this to the MHVAC plan working. So a little bit different way of doing it. So it doesn't necessarily lock in that, so we don't see that show up within the properties, but I've simply applied the settings of that particular view template to the view, but with it not locking in a view template, that means I can go to my visibility graphics and I still have the opportunity to go in and check and uncheck items listed within here. If you are working with newer users, some rookie Revit users, you may find that, you know, their thought is the easiest way is, you know, pop into a view and just simply uncheck things the way that they want to show it. Or maybe you get somebody that comes from another company and this is the way I did it with my company, so my way is correct. So I go in and turn stuff off here, and I can go in and change the way lines look within there. But that is not the way that your company has their standards set. So it's a quick way to just simply apply those particular view template features, but it's easy to have a user go in and mess with the visibility settings of that particular view. So I try to steer away from that, but sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to flip to those other view templates. Another thing that you do have at the bottom here is the temporary view properties. So I forgot to mention that. So at the very bottom of your screen, here's the temporary view properties. So what that allows you to do is to maintain a particular view template, but to be able to temporarily switch it to a different view template, or to be able to maybe turn something on or off that normally would not be on within that particular view template. So it's kind of a quick override, almost similar to the way that the temporary hide isolate works, in that, you know, you can turn something on and off, kind of check the way that it looks, and then be able to turn that back off again. So again, that was the temporary view properties. One last thing, I wanted to thank everybody for checking out my webinar. Also, if you have any questions afterwards that you didn't get answered, you can email me directly. You see my email there, pcharlson@atgusa.com. I answer all emails. If you are interested in the productivity pack, you can contact sales. I've got the 1-800 number there and the email. It's a lot cheaper to get the productivity pack than doing it all on your own. Trust me. All right. Well, thanks a lot for your time. Until next time.